From buylocalbowlinggreen.com, this is the Commonwealth in the age of COVID. These are the stories impacting our community during the global pandemic. I'm your host, Matt Pinnell. It takes a crisis to form a tactic, and fashion is no exception. Some of the best designs and delivery systems were born from struggle. Tyler Brown of FHG Clothiers is adapting to the world of 2020 because of the forethought he made in prior years, as well as his experience of working in high-pressure situations like his time currently in the National Guard. So how you doing? How's business going?
It's good.
Business is good?
Business is, no, I'm doing good. You asked 2 questions.
Yeah, I want to hear both.
I'm doing good. Business is, we are better off than some people, I would say that.
That's always a good thing.
Because luckily we've had some pretty good support of some local, people, and the way we do our business anyway, it's not just confined to Bowling Green in a sense. With us traveling, we haven't done that, but we do like that box program and stuff. So we're
that box program, you guys were kind of set up a little bit before everybody else with a little bit of online ordering and shipping and everything. Tell people what the box program is. I know we've talked about it.
So we didn't have to. The good thing is when all this happened and they told people that to close their doors, we didn't have to worry about coming up with something new and kind of scrambling. We kind of already had stuff established, which is great, and we kind of expanded a little bit. But we do it's called Man Box, but it's a very similar concept than what a lot of women are familiar with Stitch Fix. Same kind of concept, but we like to kind of say that it's a little more, well, obviously it's more local, but it's geared towards Kentucky people more than some of those other boxes could be.
Sure.
Because of the type of people we deal with, and I've got CEOs at companies, but also I'm dealing with insurance guys that go out into farms and stuff. So we got a wide variety of people we deal with.
Well, and business styles change from New York City to LA to even Lexington to Nashville.
Yeah, Lexington and Louisville are different, obviously, than here. So,
or even Nashville.
Mm-hmm. So,
I worked in Lexington, and it was very much a khaki blazer tie, and then when I got to Nashville, it was very much jeans, some type of boot shoe, and a coat with a button-up.
Yep.
I mean, so there's the different styles. But now everybody's on Zoom in a conference call.
Yeah.
So explain that. I mean, you used to deal with men who work in offices. What's the shopping changes so far?
Well, and again, the good thing is with that, so since we're custom guys and tailors, obviously suits and the desire for suits are not a big deal right now. Sport coats still a little bit because guys still, again, jeans, even on a Zoom call, you're sitting around in sport coats, but that's why the store, originally even the store came around, was because we didn't meet those needs for guys and we needed to figure out a way to do it. So we started doing the store and the box program and everything like that. So it still continued to be, I had a guy in here, or called me when all this kind of happened and was like, hey, I'm gonna start being on calls, working from home, but I was just looking at my stuff. He goes, I don't have anything that's kind of dressy, but still kind of casual. And so we're able to hook him up with some stuff that kind of balance that out. And that's why it's been good too, because our doors have been closed in a sense, and normally when I do the box program, I had to balance out because I have the store and I had the box, I couldn't send all my mediums and size 34 waist out, because if a guy came in here and he's like, well, I'm a medium and size 34, I'm like, well, sorry, they're all gone in boxes. So it's almost in a way been good for us, because when the doors closed, we said, all right, we'll lock the doors and just take everything off the shelves we can, don't worry about it. And so we're able to send out more boxes. We did, just in 4 weeks or so, did about 100 boxes. So
that's good. And
again, it's just Casey and I in here, and we can social distance ourselves because it's just he and I, and kind of still operate. So it's been good, but the way stuff's changed. The whole joke about not wearing pants, but you're still wearing like a suit, like a shirt and tie. And that's true, because I've had, I delivered stuff to a guy in E-Town and went to his house and met him outside his house and delivered stuff. And he walked out and he was wearing one of my custom shirts he got from me, and then wearing a pair of mesh shorts.
That's nice.
Because he was on calls all day long.
Sure.
So,
so when did you see the coronavirus? I'm trying to get everyone's opinion.
January, I don't know.
No, I didn't know, because you are, we haven't mentioned it, you are National Guard.
Yeah.
Were they even alerting you, or?
No, again, that whole, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means, but, I showed all the symptoms but didn't have the flu in January, so.
Sure.
Everybody's been joking about that.
Everyone thinks they have it. Right now, my allergies are kicking up and my throat's scratchy, and I'm like, oh crap. And I've only been out really today.
Yeah.
I've been to a couple places to do stuff, but
my house this weekend, it looked like I had a layer of snow on everything, but the amount of pollen we had. Like I was shopping in my shoes and it was just kicking up. But I don't know, the corona, we didn't see, guard-wise, that's the good thing is, that's obviously the guard's job is to deal with domestic stuff and help the state, but it still kind of got caught off guard. Because again, I think, like everything, we heard about the corona, everybody did, but then it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, China and the corona, and now we got to forget about it. But
well, and also typically, Asian countries, Middle Eastern countries have had these viruses before,
yeah,
and it never really touched our shores.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's touched our shores, and we're wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
And has mask style? How has that pivoted in your?
Well, that's gonna be the new normal. And like I was talking to somebody the other day about it, and I was like, to be honest with you, I'm such a clean freak and germaphobe anyway. I probably would have been fine wearing a mask for my last 20 years, like out in public.
Sure.
And been one of those people. But it's just gonna become part of the normal. And as much
fashion mask.
I know. And as much as people want to argue or say, well, they can't make me wear a mask or whatever, I was like, really, it's true. But at the same time, why not? Like, it's not gonna hurt anything. But because of that, you just don't want to look, like you're not the part. You still want to kind of dress
I wear
up.
an N95, like one that you're up in the attic and you're spraying stuff. I may need to, if I have to go to some type of function later, wear a fashionable mask.
Well, the idea is that, I was talking to our clients about it, when they do these masks, as business goes along and as we go into the fall even, masks are going to, again, become the new normal on stuff where businesses are going to open, they're still going to be working in their office, they're still going to have clients come and see them and do stuff. Yes, you can rock, your like skull and crossbones bandana or like your construction mask or whatever, but you still want to kind of put them at ease. And one of the ways to put them at ease is to kind of dress the part like you were before when you met them and shook their hand and you wore a nice sport coat and a shirt and tie or whatever. But now part of that's going to be you're wearing a mask that isn't just obnoxious. It kind of just blends in, but it's still dressy. So, and that's actually what the ones we've been doing is one of our companies we use for our custom stuff. It's actually the highest end shirt fabric we have. They've made it into it, and you can actually tell as you're like wearing it against your skin, like the softness to it, as it would be a nice shirt. And so what's cool is they're able to take excess fabric they have and turn it into all that. So
yeah, that's cool. And then you also, it was kind of a hit for your April sales, but it sounds like it's going to be a positive for your August sales. The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
So explain the pivot on the Kentucky Derby. When did people stop buying for the May race?
Well, I had a guy, probably the second week of March. So because of custom, the timeline is 6 weeks probably before. It's kind of our cutoff. So really March is our like Derby
better
time.
have it in.
Yeah. And so I think March 20th when I told guys like I had to have it in, and that was right when
everything happened.
So it actually kind of timing for us in that sense worked perfect. And the good thing is with our clients when they pick out Derby stuff, I'm not letting them pick out something that's so crazy and loud that they can't wear in everyday life. So some of these guys now either won't go to Derby or obviously they can't wear it until September. They're like, you know what, it's fine. Like, I'm still going to have it for other things. It wasn't a waste of money or anything like that. But I've already heard a couple guys now mention, they're like, well, we weren't going before, but if they still do it, we're going to get tickets and go because now we have the time. So it may actually end up helping us a little bit in that sense. And what it's going to do to retail a lot, and this is what we talked to another retail women's clothing store here in town about it, because we're just always kind of, try to get the vibe on stuff. They, we're going to push, normally our like fall stuff comes in August, 1st of August is when you start getting your fall stuff really in. Everybody's probably going to push all their stuff back to September, mid-September timeframe. And kind of ride out your summer and spring clothes all the way through that. So it's going to shift a little bit of clothing in that sense, but I think it's what it's going to end up doing to a lot of these big box stores or even our distributors, the actual clothing companies that make the stuff. It's been so long where they kind of forced you into certain seasons and certain buying and stuff like that, but now because people are going to be more limited on how they want to spend their money, I think it's going to go back to like, oh, it's winter, I buy winter stuff. Like I don't try to prep for the next thing. I buy what I got right now and I just deal with it and then go on. So I think it's going to be a little bit more of that, which is actually going to help us for carrying product because you don't have to go so far out and hope it works. You just get what you need right then and go for it. So, yeah.
The elephant in the room. Foreign-made clothing trying to get into the United States during a pandemic. Has it been hard to get stuff?
Yeah, but what's crazy is right now when we shut down, they're all back up and running, most of those.
Sure. But I'm even getting it from like, I've already, Tyler at Flowers Around the Corner. He's having issues with certain flowers, of course, coming in country.
Yeah.
The meat shops, the Mercaditos, we've talked to them, they're having troubles with meat. Everyone is, if you've ordered anything online, it's slow getting in. Everything's slow.
Amazon Prime now, is like a week now.
So will that help you?
Well, in a sense, I think what it's going to end up helping is, there's going to be the stigma. Some people are like, well, I'm not going to buy anything because it's going to have the virus on it. But obviously you can't be like that. You can't kind of have those judgmental things about it. But I think what it's going to be great is it is going to force, I think all these companies are seeing the effect of obviously stuff being made in China and different things. They're going to start seeing that, man, if we move stuff to the U.S. or even closer to the U.S., being able to control our supply chain a little bit is going to be a big deal.
Globalism has its drawbacks.
Yeah.
It's good in some ways, and it can really mess up the supply chain on things, like as opposed to making it in China, they can make it, Mexico or, some of these countries where we typically have people come here for jobs, we could easily put factories in those locations.
Well, even we've got some like Eastern European companies, which, again, when you look at it, when you talk about details, they actually make better stuff, to be honest with you, than the consistency is better. I guess this European consistency of products is better than a lot of the Asian made stuff that we get clothing wise, especially because clothing is just so random sometimes. So they've been able to kind of step up and fulfill some of that stuff because, they kept shut down in a sense, but they were still able to push out their supply chains a little bit. And then like we have a company that makes stuff in LA, and they were able to
do it quickly,
some stuff, turn around and things like that. So I think it's going to force some people to kind of reshape and restructure how they do it, which in the long run is going to be good for us. I think some people initially are going to realize you have to pay more for American-made stuff initially.
Sure.
But once more of that starts happening, then it goes down. I mean, it's everything. It doesn't become something unique and special.
So tell me, how this past week we opened stores back up.
Yeah.
How did we pivot and make it easier to? Are people coming to shop in stores, or were they rushing the doors, or was it?
Well,
slow?
I mean, again, the way we are, and we're being men's clothing is totally different than women's clothing, because obviously women's clothing is the business is just so in and out all the time. But men are very, I guess, deliberate would be the best way to say it in the way they shop. So,
there is a deliberate nature to men's shopping.
And so, because the whole joke about we just go straight and get it and then leave the grocery store where they zigzag all around.
I have the same style I had at 22.
Yeah. Again, and it's part of it is that investment thing, and I think that's what's going to shape guys now going forward is that idea of investment clothing instead of just buying random stuff. It's going to be, they know that they might have to spend a little more because it's going to last longer. Anyway, we opening back up. The good thing about us is the way we do our business. I guess intimate is the best word. A lot of our stuff's very intimate and a lot of one-on-one. Because our job is to figure out what guys build their style, build their closet, so he doesn't have to think about it, because that's not what a guy wants to do, is think about it. So, we kind of take care of that for him. So, with that being said, in the store, around your Christmas time and stuff, we'll have quite a few people in here, but on a normal day, the most people are going to have in here at one time is 5 or 6 people, and because, again, the way we do stuff, a guy can just call me and say, hey, you know what, everything I've gotten over the last 2 years, I say, yeah, and put more stuff together for me, and I'll trust you and just take care of it for me. So,
have you had to alter anyone's sizes with quarantine gain weight?
No, if they're like me though, I've worked out and eaten better in quarantine
than I did. 15 since this. Because
I'm at home and doing some stuff differently. But no, a guy yesterday, he actually texted me about he needed a new suit, but he wanted to wait until he got off some of his quarantine weight.
So what do you suggest, and we'll kind of wrap it up here, but what do you suggest that if guys have time right now with it all opening, come by, get size, just in case, because if you and I both are kind of nerds and we look back at history, 1918, there was a second wave. There could be a second wave.
Yeah.
You guys can still service them and help them if you have their sizes.
Yeah, and again, that's our biggest thing is if we can, guys' goal is, their first goal in life is not to go shopping. And so if I can get a guy in here one time so that I can get his sizing down, then we always tell him, then you don't ever have to come in here again, because through technology and pictures and the box program and everything, if we just get your sizing down, we're good. But then also, over the last couple weeks, I've had a couple new guys, and literally I put boxes for them together, and their wife handled it all, sizing and stuff, and then she goes, well, we got down what he likes, now I'll do everything. So she's going to be the one that picks out his stuff and does whatever, but she can do that because I got him one time to get his sizes.
So get your wife to size you, or
Yeah.
get Tyler to size you, and
then
you'll never have to come.
never have to come in here if you don't want to. Some guys come in here and just hang out because they want to get away from everything. But so they're like, I got a call to go on. But yeah, if I can get you one time, then you don't ever have to worry about it again. And that's, again, I mean, the guys I deal with for 3 or 4 years now, I've got their style down now where, I mean, literally pretty much everything I send them they keep because they know it's, one guy I know, like, he never wants, this color short and this color shirt. I just never send it. And, one guy just wants underwear and pants, and that's all he wants, and just whatever. I mean, it's just, we take care of it, so. That's it for this episode of the Commonwealth in the Age of COVID. Do you have a story you want to share with us? Email us at buylocalbg@gmail.com. Join us this following Tuesday as our guest will be Heather McGuffey, owner of Teresa's Restaurant. Be sure to like and subscribe to all our social media platforms, as well as follow our podcast on the app you're listening currently. We hope you have a great week, and stay safe, Kentucky.